Hey, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to say this real quick. There was some guy, first of all, as you can see, I'm at fucking home shelter. Okay, there's no joke about that. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna take you guys on a little walk because for some reason or another, I have some guy that came on my page named Cleavon. What a real loser he is. This guy left over 179 comments trying to get people to come to his podcast, which I know who the guy is. Shout out to you, Mr. Clark. You're getting pathetic, dude. They all wanted to make a podcast to defend their bullshit, which I don't know. Well, my friend sleeps there. As you can see, all his stuff is there. My other buddies is right there. These guys, they all leave out different times. Some people leave out at night. Some people, you can leave whenever you want to here. So I'll give you guys a little bit more of a tour. It's the rules on the board there. One bathroom. Sometimes they have food for us in the morning, which is cool. They're very nice people here. That's the second bathroom. This right here is chores and stuff we should be doing in the morning to stay here, which most of us do, mopping, stuff like that. Everything here is pretty cool though. Nice people, nice director. They put out coffee and cups and stuff for us or whatever. I ain't gonna put that right there. I think that's a little too personal. But as you can see at the shelter here, we all have what's names and stuff, and you know, I think this one is the most obvious here. Okay, so this is where I'm at, and as you can see right here, if you can read that or not. Okay, so I wanted to dispel that rumor because you have to be a real fucking loser, a lowlife, piece of shit New Yorker to sit there and fucking, yes, I said piece of shit New Yorker. Because, see, there's two different types of New Yorkers. There's real cool New Yorkers that want to see the city move forward and want to see people happy and want to see their communities happy. And then there's piece of shit New Yorkers. Piece of shit New Yorkers are the ones that move to Jersey, they move to Connecticut, and they bring their assholishness to those areas. And unfortunately, I'm drinking some tea. Unfortunately, a lot of those assholes end up doing some of the most asshole things you can see. Now, what do you say about someone that says, I'm bugging, I'm telling a bullshit ass story or whatever, but yet you put 179 comments, which you guys can see right below. I had actually been going through just deleting them because I was like, who has the energy to put 179 comments? And they were very strategic. Whoever said they were donating to me, that's where they would put the comment. And I'm like, whoa, that's really just low ball. The way I got into the situation I got into actually started about 3 years ago. That portion had nothing to do with Bad Boy. It was over an ex of mine. We had a really bad breakup. Subsequently, something happened to me in the midst of this as a result of, you know, cheating and stuff like that, which I wasn't cheating, she was cheating. And we made our mistakes. I'm not here to place blame all on her or whatever. To be quite honest with you, I still love the girl. I love her to the bottom of my heart. So peace to that sister. You know what I mean? She was just taking a fray for a minute, but beautiful, beautiful black Ethiopian sister, you know. So I don't wanna for any points of purpose to sit there and do that, but that's what happened. And it's been a hard road since then. I've had jobs. I worked at Madame Tussauds. I worked at Ripley's, believe it or not. I worked doing the bus tickets in New York for the travel agency, which you can check and see. Where else? I worked at Wyndham for a minute. New York is not a place where if you are doing a 9 to 5 job, you're going to have some stable employment. Maybe unless it's at like a McDonald's, and that's up in the air too. So I had worked those jobs. In fact, my boss, the way I ran back into him, which I'm talking about Sean Prez, National Marketing Director, of Bad Boy Entertainment. I ran into him while I was handing out flyers for, we did this thing where you would hand out these flyers and people would bring them up to the door and it would get them like $5 off. And out of that $5, you would actually get $2 for each flyer that they used to bring in or whatever. So that was like a hustle. And you can anything. Sometimes you can make $400 a week. Sometimes you can make 800. Just depend on how many people boarded in the door. You know what I mean? But I saw the gentleman that actually gave me the job not too long before I left New York. I think it was probably like a couple of days or whatever. And I gave him the biggest hug. This was a brother. I gave him the biggest hug. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, man, thank you for giving me a job when nobody else would. So make no mistake about it. There's a caste system in New York of how they hire blacks. I don't care what nobody says. That same caste system is here in Connecticut too. Because here in Connecticut, I'm in a very small town. You would not believe how small a town it is. And there's surrounding areas, but the surrounding areas are far away. And so there's a bus, but the bus is not like a New York bus. It runs every hour. And if you miss it, you have to wait a total another hour to get to those areas. And sometimes those areas can take you 45, 50 minutes to get to. So if you don't have a car and say a boss says, hey, I want you here by this time, you're not going to make it unless you catch a cab, which is going to burn your pocket too. I'll give you an example. The next around the town probably cost me about $20 to get to, $15, $20 to get to. It's an option to catching the train, which I don't have a shitload of money to do that right now. So that's not it. And the money that I have collected, I haven't spent a dime of that except for I bought one little mini jacket, which I should have bought a bigger jacket. It's getting really, really cold up here. And I bought me a pair of boots because I needed a pair of boots, you know. Other than that, all the things that I've collected, I haven't spent a dime. So if you want to count buying something to eat, and I have stuff under my bed. This is actually the boots I bought and everybody to see them. So, you know, this is where your money went to. And here, because I think I owe this to you guys, I have a whole, I don't know where you guys can see that, but I have a whole bunch of snacks and stuff like that. I bought me a pair of $5 headphones because I needed some headphones because you guys are trying to sleep at night sometimes and, you know, having a, what's the name, blast or something like that. And then in here, I actually bought some more snacks and stuff like that. Give me 1 second here. I bought like some brownie bites and peanut butter cups, you know, because that stuff that you saw earlier in the video, that's not always out there like that. They don't, they depend on donators, so it's the same thing. I want to address one last thing. A whole bunch of people in my comment section, I don't know for what reason, there's some hateful people in there. I had people coming in yesterday trying to get me to beef with Storm Monroe. I didn't even know who Storm Monroe was. Storm put up a video for some reason or another. He took it down. I don't know why, but that's cool. You know, I'll probably take mine down eventually or whatever, because we're not going to look like a one-sided thing. It looks like I'm just sending him a message when you actually made the video, but, you know, whatever. Good luck to him and respect to him. At least he was nice. Other than that, man, the end game result of what I'm saying here is I reached out to Puff numerous times, no denying that, via social media, via Nick. I asked him for help. I told him what was going on. And I told my other quote-unquote bad boy brothers that are putting so much effort into getting their podcast popping. See, what's really going on is they're mad at me because I've gotten so many views and so many comments from you guys. So instead of admitting and saying, hey, you know what we did was fucked up. We could have did better. And I can live with that. We could have handled this privately and said, I'm sorry. But when you start getting people this, and then the blame game, like, oh, you should have, I did. And what more of a better example do I have than our boss collectively, which was Sean Prez, ran into me while I was working. Nick of Ciroc ran into me while I had my work uniform on selling the bus tickets. So you can't get around that one. This is people trying to dictate and sell a narrative and a story of what I went through, what I was going through, based on nits and pitlets of what they know, when in fact these people don't even hang out with me. Like, they did everything to avoid me. And even when I told them my story, well, you gotta pull yourself out of it. They almost sounded like old white men. Pull your chin up, nigga. You can do it. You know, this is the mentality of black people nowadays, and they think they're so well off. You know, one of the kids did a video of me threatening me in front of a tenement, talking about he was living good. This is the mentality of the average, I don't know, street New Yorker, if you want to say. This guy had to be like 30-something. And he was just talking just so silly, sitting on his front porch, talking about he was so upset. Mind you, this kid hadn't talked to me since 2008. Hadn't seen me since 2008. And had a battery put in his back by somebody else. So I'm like, mentally, dude, where the fuck are you at? Are you okay? You need some mental help? I thought I was the one with the mental problems, but that's a serious mental problem when you jump on camera and you start threatening people on the response of another man. Mind you, I never asked you for a thing. Mind you, you weren't even around when any of this transpired. And then there's another gentleman who, for some reason or another, feels that fucking with me is a bigger task than actually going to get his teeth fixed. You need your teeth fixed, Mr. Clark. And that's not a shot, but instead of making podcasts, you should worry about that. They all 5 altogether made a podcast about me trying to take me down. The guy in the homeless shelter, time 2. And I just find it really, really sad that you would pick a time like this during a pandemic, during a man being in a homeless shelter, during a man trying to survive and get money, because see, these programs do not help us. I mean, they'll help as much as they can, but there's no guarantee for housing. I want you to look that up. In the state of Connecticut, there's no guarantee for housing, meaning that they don't have to put you in housing at all. They don't have a state guarantee. So basically you are on your own. These gentlemen that are talking, I don't want to call them dumb exactly, but they're not as educated as I am. That's why many of y'all said you weren't in the right position. I wasn't. I should have been in the back of a desk. I'm college educated. I know how to articulate myself way better than those guys. They try to articulate themselves, but they're doing it based off seeing me for years. When we used to go on trips and stuff like that, there was like literally 3 years I didn't have an ID for whatever reason. I was young and dumb. I didn't have an ID, but being the way that I talked and the way that my personality was or whatever, I would get into these clubs with no ID, and they would be amazed by it. Certain people would want to talk to me, particularly a lot of times upscale black people, upscale Latinos, and upscale white people. They would fling and cling to me because they just like the way I talk, the way I was. This is naturally me, you know, so I can't pretend or put on the front for anything else other than that. But it's just really sad to see these gentlemen that I've been around 15, 20 years. In all reality, I think really all of you were just jealous of me. That's what it seems like. I mean, who else would pick it now during the pandemic to be like, hey, you know what, let's attack him. I didn't attack you guys, I just told the truth. I asked you guys for help, and you decided not to. And said gentleman, the light-skinned gentleman, I've given you credit 4 or 5 times, and you seem to be the one that him and the other one seem to be the most angry. I don't know what the others are angry about. Yo, you got to do it on your own. You got to get out here. That means if I can't count on you when I'm down and out, and that's your reaction and that's your answer, then I definitely couldn't count on you if I was sick in the hospital. I definitely couldn't count on you if I was on my deathbed. I definitely couldn't count on you on many other things. And therefore, I don't need your friendship. Now, I can still like you. I can still be cool with you. Hell, I can maybe even one day have a conversation with you. One day. But as you can see, I'm not answering your phone calls. You putting up your link, trying to explain yourself, needing 4 people to do it along with you, that signals guilt, and it signals desperation, and it signals clout chasing, because now you're clout chasing off of me. Finally, I want to say to emphasize that I want to thank all you beautiful, beautiful people that have this not only donated but just sent the kindest words. And please, if you can, don't pay any attention to that crap down there. It's them. I've got proof it's them. I've got a lot of proof of stuff that I haven't even put up yet, but I'm just going to see what's the next move. But right now, as it sits, Bad Boy Entertainment ain't it. And if you're saying on camera that Bad Boy Entertainment taught you this behavior, well, that came from Puff. And you know damn well as I do, that lie that you pushing right now, talking about I just hung out. Come on now. Come on now. I just hung out. No, we could talk about consistency, and that consistency would be because we spent a whole duration of a couple years not getting paid, remember? But I was spending my money. I used to sell CDs and DVDs on the side. Everybody in fucking everywhere knows I used to do that. And that's why I used to use the money, the proceeds I made from that. And I would travel back and forth to New York to go to that office. I would stay 2 or 3 days, rent me a hotel room, stay at my uncle's, pay for my own food, everything. Puff didn't provide for that. And I did that for years. So when you speak of inconsistency, that's why I didn't show up for a little bit. But that's why if I didn't show up, I wouldn't have photos year after year after year after year. And I got more. I just capped it yesterday at those because it was so many. I'm going to show you some more today. But, and you're going to probably be amazed. But, guys, this is not a beg, this is not a plea, but just please continue to do what you do with these kind words, donations, whatever. But most of all, I need donations. I had asked Puff for 10 grand, which is chump change. I could do a lot of things, primarily get myself out of this situation. I am severely fucking depressed. I don't have a girlfriend. I haven't had a girlfriend since my ex. I had girls I talk to, you know, stuff like that, but I wake up here every morning and I'm like real depressed and shit, but I fight through it and I try to be nice to everybody.